BINO Nation, we back in the building. BINO Nation, yet again. I need y'all to put the BINO Shields in the chat. Put the BINO Shields in the chat. You feel me? Put the BINO Shields in the chat. Yes, indeed. So we got a lot to talk about. We got a whole lot to talk about. We got a whole heap of shit to talk about, man. I got some news for you guys. We are retiring the Go XLR. As you can see, we've gotten some upgraded shit. We've got some upgraded shit, you feel me? I don't know why the munchkin is in there screaming like that. I don't know if y'all can hear that. But we got a lot to talk about. I guess they still not sending out notifications because of yesterday. It is what it is. We got everything situated, or at least I hope we got everything situated. So to everybody that's in the building, make sure you guys are hitting the like button. Make sure you're hitting the Cash App, supporting the show. All of that good stuff. Let's see if we got anybody that set it off early. And we do. Shout out to my man Kevin. He said, here for the smoke. Yes, sir. Yes, indeedy. So, yo, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you click the bell and choose to enable all notifications. We got to get more people coming through. There's a lot of y'all that are subscribed, but you haven't clicked the bell to make sure you know when we go live. So y'all already know what it is, man. Make sure y'all doing that. Make sure y'all hitting the like button. Make sure you're hitting the Cash App, supporting the show. Let's see. So we only got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we only got 4 BINOs in here? We only got 4 BINOs in here? Let's see. You got me dropping the shields. You got Treese dropping the shields. Big Wave dropping the shields. You got Abdul dropping the shields, and you got Malika dropping the shields. Where's everybody else at? Where's everybody else at? So there's 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm bugging. Abdul didn't drop the shield. So there's 1, 2, 3 BINOs in here. So you mean to tell me there's 3 BINOs in here and 90 haters? Let's see. ESS Munchie dropped the shields before I said anything. Lotus Flower dropped the shields before I said anything. So we got let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. There we go. Finally getting some shields. It's not that complicated. It is not that complicated. It is not that complicated. We're going to wait and see if we get some more shields in here. We need some more shields. We need some more shields. We need some more shields. We need some more likes. We need some more shields. We need some more likes. You feel me? Let's see. Shout out to Jeff for becoming a member. Appreciate you, fam. Appreciate that. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Let's see if we can get everything situated. Accept all. Okay, boom. Let's see. Why is that not up? Let's see. You know what? This is what we're going to do for this. Told y'all this is like we got to fly the freaking, we got to fly the plane. We got to build a plane while we're flying it.
How do we lose that stubborn belly fat?
It's by adding pink salt to a glass of water every morning, which is how hundreds of my patients now are burning between 20 to...
That shit is goofy. That is super goofy. But, like I said, shout out to Jeff. Appreciate it. Y'all gotta forgive me. I'm a little discombobulated with this new hardware and this new software. We're trying to get everything situated. Shout out to Caleb, said, I'm down right now, but showing some support. Appreciate you, bro. Shout out to Kelson. He said, salute, let go. So, like I said, man, we got a lot to talk about. We got this topic. This topic is crazy, and we definitely gonna get into it. So, let's go. back. We back in the stew. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button as you come in. Make sure you hit the Cash App and support the show. Anybody that drops 100 or more.
That's that.
Will be a sponsor of the show. Let's get it. Can't get it if my button don't want to work. I don't know what it is about that particular. This is some more shit that need to be fixed.
You're now tuned in.
You are now tuned into
The realest show on YouTube with your host, The Angryman.
So, we got a topic that I came across that is extremely interesting, to say the very least. So you know how we've been sitting back watching as the mainstream media has been trying its best to brainwash Americans into believing that America's the worst place on planet Earth to live, right? Oh, it's so racist, and Donald Trump is a dictator, and oh my God, what are we gonna do? We have to, like, you even see it here on YouTube. You even see people here on YouTube with the, I'm tired of America, I'm leaving, I can't stand it. They don't even know why they don't like America. They just know that the media is telling them that this is the worst place to be. People that have lived here their entire lives. People that were born here, lived here their entire lives. Right? All of a sudden now, this is the worst damn place in the world to be. Every time I hear folks talking like this, it boggles my mind. It is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard in my entire life. And all it is hype. It is more proof to me that most of the people out here are sheep. They're lemmings being herded off of a cliff. All they have to do is get on television and tell them that the sky is falling, and they'll believe it. They'll believe it. So this particular story, just to give you guys some context of what's going on, we're gonna pull this up, and I want you to listen to this story. I'm not gonna show it because there's a part of the story where, you know, it's a little graphic. Well, I don't know. I might be able to show it. We're gonna check it out.
A black woman who moved from the U.S. to Russia.
Let's see.
A black woman who moved from the U.S. to Russia to escape discrimination and racism revealed on social media that the entire plan backfired on her in a disturbing way. Francine Villa was born in Russia but moved to the U.S. with her family when she was a kid. In a heartbreaking video, Francine claims that both she and her baby were brutally attacked by racist neighbors in Moscow. She detailed the alleged assault on Instagram. Now, the fact that the attack occurred in her homeland is an extra painful blow. Villa had previously spoken about her move in the 2020 documentary Back in the USSR, which aired on the Russian state media channel RT. Villa said that her great-grandfather George Tynes, who hails from Virginia, worked as an agriculturalist after moving to the Soviet Union in the 1930s. Now, much of her family still lives there, but at a young age, she moved with her mother to the United States. It was there that she spent most of her life until experiencing what she described as a traumatizing experience with police. Villa explained in the documentary that she'd approached officers for help during an emergency, but that they turned on her instead, throwing her to the ground. It was then that she decided it was time to leave. That was back in 2019. Here is how she explained it. Quote, "Why did I make up my mind to move to Russia? I wanted to leave a country where I was facing discrimination. After a year living in Moscow, she told RT, quote, I feel free living in Russia because in Russia, no matter what time it is, I can walk outside and I'm safe." 5 years later, that proved to be a fantasy. Following the alleged attack, Villa took to Instagram.
So, you guys are pretty much getting the idea of what took place, right? So apparently, she's from Russia, but she moved here when she was a child. And so some incident happened with the police. And so she said, this country, America, is too racist. I gotta leave, and went back to Russia like Russia was gonna be less discriminatory towards, someone of color, and apparently got harassed and ultimately lumped up, right?
With blood still on her face, saying a couple in her apartment building beat her with fists while she was with her 2-year-old and yelled racial slurs at her in Russian. In edited footage shared by Villa of the incident, the couple can be seen arguing with her in the hallway of her building, threatening to throw out her belongings while she was seemingly blocked from entering her own apartment.
Вы в России давно живете?
А у вас прописка есть здесь?
Дай мне войти в мою квартиру.
Прописка есть?
Почему вы ко мне на «ты»?
Я не могу выйти и входить в свою квартиру. Напугает моего ребенка.
Кого? Он пуганный плачет, бедняжка. Да, зайка, ты плачешь, да? Плачешь, зайка.
Now, she accuses her neighbors of changing the locks, cutting off the electricity, and even tossing her baby's stroller down the stairs. She also claims her child was left with bruises following the incident. In footage taken from a hospital, Villa can be seen weeping in distress in the aftermath of this alleged attack. She says she's filed complaints to the police but claims they aren't helping or responding.
So, yeah, what I was saying just now was the New York Post need to step their game up. Like, seriously, like y'all need to step your game up because, showing the same clip over and over again is ridiculous. Like, you would think that you would actually be able to go and interview the woman and all of that stuff instead of showing the clip over and over again. You feel me? So, and the whole reason why I have to mute is because remember yesterday I was telling you guys if I got a new interface, a new mixer, one of the issues I was going to have to deal with was an echo, right? Like, watch, I'm going to play this, watch. Tell me if you guys can hear the echo.
Francine Villa was born in Russia but moved to the U.S. with her family when she was a kid. In a heartbreaking video, Francine claims that both she and her baby were brutally attacked by racist neighbors.
You hear the echo, right? See? But if I mute...
In Moscow, she detailed the alleged assault on Instagram.
Сегодня напали там кулаком с ребенком.
painful blow. Villa had previously spoken about her move in the 2020.
See, if I mute it, you feel what I'm saying? Then you don't have to hear it or whatever, right? So this chick made a documentary back in, I guess, 2020. I don't know. She made a documentary called Black in the USSR. I guess it's supposed to be kind of like black or back in the US. I guess that's a play on words or whatever, right? I saw this story and it caught my attention. Like even the look on her face right there is like, I don't know. To me is just ridiculous, right? But I wanted to talk about this story because there's going to be a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of Americans. There's going to be a lot of people that's going to end up in a situation like this because they believe all of the propaganda that the media has been pushing. Like the fact that the media has been allowed to fearmonger on this level, like in the future, like in the years to come, there's going to be somebody that's going to come along that's going to study this shit. And it should be studied. The amount of fear mongering that we're witnessing in this sort of post pandemic era, it's crazy. It's beyond crazy. It's beyond crazy, and it's causing hysteria. It's causing hysteria, and there's going to be a lot of people that's going to leave America with the idea in their head that America's the worst place in the world, that America's horrible, right? And then what they're going to do is they're going to end up somewhere that's 10 times worse than America. You feel what I'm saying? They're going to end up somewhere that's like this chick, right? My bad, Treese. I'm trying to look at another message. My fault, Treese. I was trying to click this other message. I don't feel bad for her. I don't feel bad for her. In fact, I can't name how many videos I've seen recently on TikTok with black folk saying the stupidest shit I have ever heard in my life. I saw a video where this one dude was saying they're going to try to lock up Barack Obama. It's time for us to crash out. I think this may be the final straw. What? They mad at Barack Obama because he calling out the Democrats for not stepping up and doing something about this administration. Like, bro, sometimes I listen to black folk on social media and it's so shameful. It's so shameful. It doesn't make any sense that some of our people are this stupid. It's frightening. It's frightening. Like, I seen another video where some chicks was driving on the freeway and they was getting ready to pass by a cyber truck, right? And they was in the car saying, please don't let it be a black person driving it. Please don't let it be a black person driving it. And then when they passed by and it was a black person, they was like, no. And I'm sitting there like, so because recently the Democrats decided they don't like Elon Musk and Tesla, now all of a sudden you feel some type of way. Wasn't these the same niggas that when that ugly ass truck came out, all of them was buying that truck and painting it a certain color? Ain't this the same Negroes that was super excited to get a damn Tesla truck? Shout out to Kyle. Kyle said, appreciate the membership. Shout out to Zero Fallout. He says something is missing from the story, like her dang husband or baby's dad. Man, look. Bro, let me tell you something. When you look at this goofy ass look on her face, there's a lot missing from this damn story. Like common sense, intelligence, being able to read the room. Like who on planet Earth, like what black person do you know on this planet that is an American says, you know what? I think America is too prejudiced and too racist. I'm going to move to Russia. Like who? Who? If there was anybody on this planet that was going to even say something that stupid, attempt to do something that stupid, of course it would be the usual suspects. Of course, who would it naturally be? Who would it naturally be? The American B-Dub. Like I was on TikTok earlier today, right? Before my freaking Beacon mixer came, right? Before this joint came. And by the way, we got it and we got it situated and it's running like it's supposed to. And it's cool. It's cool. I got to figure out how I'm going to fix that echo. But then again, I'm going to get the mic. I'm going to get the Beacon mic too. That might actually fix the echo, but who knows? But I was on TikTok earlier and I'm just listening to the stuff that these modern American B-dubs are saying, and it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. So it doesn't surprise me that a B-dub, even if she was born in Russia because of her great-grandfather, because her great-grandfather was just as silly. Like, who leaves a capitalist country to go live in a communist country? That is the dumbest. That's the dumbest shit in the world. And I'm going to tell you something right now. All of you folks, all of you people, like, you know, I was on Izzy Band's show, and there was a brother on there that lives in the freaking jungle, and me and him got into a back and forth, right? And I'm going to tell y'all something right now, right? It's cool to travel the world. it's cool to get your passport and broaden your horizons and go see other places and all of that shit, right? But I'm going to tell you something that I know for certain if I don't know nothing else. And y'all can disagree with me if you like, but I'm going to say it. Stop believing the hype. Stop believing these goofy ass Negroes that try to convince you that you're going to be better off in Africa or some other freaking country and all of this shit. There is no country on this planet that is better than America. You can say what you like. You can get upset about that. You can get offended. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. Pennsylvania said allegedly she wasn't paying her rent and tried to squat. I saw a video on TikTok, but I haven't seen any news reports on it. Wouldn't be surprised though. There's no telling. There's no telling. Like, bro, you know what there's a strong possibility of? There's a strong possibility that she was doing something wrong here in America when the police hemmed her up and cried victim, kind of like the brick lady. And then went back to Russia. And when she got to Russia, there's a possibility that happened. There's a possibility she didn't pay her rent or whatever, and the people was tripping or whatever and all that. Because the one part didn't make no sense. She said they changed her locks and turned off her electricity. Why would your neighbors be able to do that? Why would your neighbors be able to change your locks and turn off your electricity? That sounds like something a landlord can do, right? But I'm going to tell you what I suspect with this woman. And I suspect this with a whole lot of people here in America, right? I suspect this with a lot of people in America. The result of the current political climate, and I said this yesterday, the result of the current political climate is creating one of the most entitled groups of people that you have ever seen. And so with this woman, and I suspect you're going to see this with a lot of people, here in America, they've got the best deal they could ever get. This is the only country that allows you to be completely full of shit, and you can still get away with being full of shit, right? I think that a lot of the people here in America that have gained this ridiculous sense of entitlement, I think they don't realize that this is the place where their entitlement is going to be tolerated the most. But see, the problem with humans, like the one thing that is both our weakness and our virtue at the same time, is that we adapt, right? So guess what happens if you live in America, which is a country that genuinely tolerates your entitlement more than any other country, but you're constantly being told by the Democrat Party and the mainstream media that you're deprived? What does that create in you? It's kind of like the interview that 50 Cent did with the one dude where they was talking about his son. And he was like, when you have circumstances like that, he said the mother created an expectation in the mind of 50's son that could not be met. He said it's kind of like, you know, if her son asks her for a pair of Jordans, right? This is what 50 said. He said if her son asked her for a pair of Jordans, said then the mother says, okay, I guess, but you know, really, you should have all of the Jordans because of who your father is, right? He says, so basically, she's creating a circumstance where an entitled child feels deprived, right? This is what the Democrats and the mainstream media is doing to left-leaning Americans. When it comes to left-leaning Americans, and I guarantee you this chick is a left-leaning American, right? When it comes to left-leaning Americans, this society, not us, but the mainstream media that's left-leaning and the Democrats and all of that, they are creating expectations in left-leaning citizens that can't be met. They are creating an environment where a group of people who are extremely entitled feel like they're deprived. This is the reason why you see such ridiculousness that shouldn't be going on. A prime example of an entitled group of people feeling deprived. I need you to think about this. Our country is so awesome that someone who is not even from here can sneak across the border illegally. And the moment their feet touches American soil, they start complaining about what they don't fucking have or what America hasn't given them. Let that sink in. I'm going to say it again. Our country is so awesome and creates so much entitlement that a person that's not even supposed to be here will sneak across the border, and the moment their feet touches American soil, they instantly become entitled. To the point where you literally got, bro, the moment I saw illegal immigrants protesting, I said, bro, what? How the hell are you in a country protesting and your ass ain't supposed to be here in the first place? How are you in a country demanding things when you're not even supposed to be in that country? This shows you how awesome this country is. The fact that you can sneak into this country and then start demanding shit and legitimately feel like your demands need to be heard. But see, this chick, she actually believes in that concept of entitlement, which is the main reason why when the police did whatever they did, she's like, I don't have to take this. I'm going back to Russia. And took her ass back to Russia and found out real quick the grass ain't greener on the other side. You found out real quick. Because I'm going to tell you what the average American is, especially black Americans. You niggas are in this country. You're like a kid that's in a damn spoiled situation. and all you're doing is complaining instead of taking advantage of all of the things that's available to you. And so from a spoiled kid position, you're going to run your mouth until you decide, you know what, I don't have to take this. And just like a kid leaving the house, you're going to leave America and you're going to find out just how harsh the world really is. You're going to find out just how messed up the world really is. Shout out to Zero Fallout, said they don't play that entitlement BS in other countries. Fuck around and find out. Exactly. Shout out to Gino, said the people that want to leave have likely never been anywhere. Yeah. Shout out to Jerome. Shout out to Time to Andy Up. He said facts, AM. Shout out to Terrell. He said, 1 ticket to Angryman Live, please. Appreciate you. Shout out to KGY. Shout out to Quinn. He said, thanks for the stream, AM. Shout out to IMP. He said, salute to the light-skinned God, AM. Respect. In fact, I got to show you. I got to show you some of the foolishness. I got to show it to you because until I show it to you, you're not going to believe it. So I got to show it to you. Let's see. Let's pull it up real quick. Get this joint up. I got a couple videos that I saved just for you guys. Just for you guys. Just for you. You feel me? Here's one. Here's one that I really want you to peep. Watch this.
If a 4-year-old child gets kidnapped, brought to a home that's being renovated, the owners of that home tell that child, you are now my slave, and you're going to help me build this home. That child does that. He has no choice but to do what the owners, his now slave masters, tell him to do. He does such a good job at building a home, it becomes the biggest, baddest, best home on the entire block. The owners are so happy with the labor that their former slave has done for them. They tell that slave, yo, you know what? You're no longer a slave. As a matter of fact, instead of keeping you in the cages, in the basement, and outside in the shed, we're going to give you a room downstairs in this home that you helped build. And on top of that, you're pretty funny and pretty strong, stronger than all of us. We've never seen anything like this before. We're willing to pay you exorbitant amounts of money to keep us entertained, right? So now the 4-year-old is no longer 4. A bunch of time has passed by. Now he's like mid-20s. Like so much time has passed by, like damn near 30 years old, right? Let's say he's almost 30, right? He now calls this place his home, the place that he renovated. But nobody's transferred any deed to his name. Nobody said, yeah, you know what? You do own part of this. In fact, the owners of the home still control everything in the house that's relevant. They control all utilities. They control your curfew. They control everything about the home. They just let you live there and they give you money to entertain them. Like, home is where you're wanted, isn't it? Like, isn't that called Stockholm Syndrome? Like when a kid gets kidnapped and then falls in love with their kidnapper, isn't that called, isn't there a disease or a name for that? So then, right, now he's in his mid-20s, and his mid-20s about to be 30 years old. His old neighborhood, where they actually took him from where he was 4 years old, goes, oh my gosh, it's you. I remember you. Look, we look just the same. Like, you came from here. Now the mid-20-year-old.
And this is what I mean by stupid ass niggas. And we ain't never gonna get nowhere. As long as we got niggas like this amongst us, we ain't never gonna get nowhere. Because in his analogy, the house is America, right? And the old neighborhood is Africa. Oh my God, you look like us. No, the fuck we don't, you idiot. See, what you didn't understand in your analogy is that the house that we helped build, that we helped renovate, we already lived in it. So it was our home, you moron. That's the part you don't get. Now, here's the other part. The only way your analogy works, the only way you have Stockholm Syndrome is if your ass was the slave that renovated the house. You ain't the slave that renovated the damn house. You are hundreds of years away from that. You live in the house, yes, but you never renovated nothing. In fact, the only thing you do today, nigga, is you live in the damn room most of the time rent-free, eating shit out of the refrigerator, and tearing shit up every chance you get. And you feel that you deserve to do that because generations ago, your forebearer renovated the damn house. And I'm so sick of you niggas running around here complaining about some shit that happened forever ago that you didn't experience. And you know what I really want to say to you niggas? Either spark the revolution or shut the fuck up. We tired of hearing it, bro. We tired of hearing it. If you ain't gonna shake or move nothing, if you ain't gonna move no furniture, shut up. Because let's be real. You ain't gonna, right after you did this video, you know what you did right after you did this video, Negro? You know what you did? You went to Walmart, bought some stuff for dinner and some stuff to make lunch for tomorrow, took your ass back home, made dinner, ate dinner, sat there and watched television, and you gonna get up in the morning, fix your lunch, and take your ass to the damn job at a company that's owned by the descendants of the forebearers that made your forebearers renovate the damn house. So in your mind, it's wrong for you to be living in the damn house that your forebearers was forced to renovate but you're currently working for the descendants of the forebearers that made your forebearers renovate the house, but you're doing it voluntarily. Shut up, Negro. Shut up, because you ain't going to do nothing except what you already doing, which is jaw-jacking online, running your mouth about the damn revolution not being televised. You right, it ain't going to be televised, because the shit ain't never going to happen. Shut up. Shut all the way up. In fact, shut up so much that there are no more shuts to up. That's what you need to do, bruh. I get so sick of you Negroes online talking about nothing. Nothing. Just imagine if you living in a house and you're forced to renovate the house and you're forced to do this and now you're living in the house and you get to live in the house because the house. Shut the hell up, Negro. You really thought you was cooking. You really thought you was cooking. There's only one problem. Nobody's making you live in the house. That's the only problem. Nobody's making you live in the house. You can leave it right now if you want to. You could do the same thing that this chick did when she took her ass to Russia. You can leave it. You can leave it. And as far as you talking about some going to the old neighborhood that you came from, take your goofy ass on over there thinking that that's home. Be my guest. Bro, one of the things I wish to God that this would happen. All you so-called Pan-African niggas, when the fuck are y'all leaving? When are you leaving? All of you Pan-African, pro-black, we going back to Africa, we going to Kenya. When is your ass leaving, bruh? You niggas been leaving since the damn 20s and still ain't left. You go and then you bring your ass right back. Why do you keep coming back? Like Dr. Umar, why doesn't he live in Africa? Could somebody please explain? Why doesn't that Negro live in Africa? Why? I'm going to tell you why. Niggas don't have no intention of doing nothing except what they always do, which is their favorite pastime, to sit around and complain. Let me tell you something. If there was a Zamunda or a Wakanda where niggas could go and enjoy peace and prosperity, they'd never go. Because if they went, what the hell they gonna complain about? If there was some sort of African utopia and they told niggas in America, we got enough room for all of y'all. Y'all can come over here and don't worry about nothing. We're going to give you homes to stay in. We're going to give you jobs so that you can earn money. You get free education. You get everything. Come on over here. Them niggas ain't going. Because if they go and experience that, what the fuck are they going to have to complain about? Niggas got to have something to complain about. Niggas got to be victims in some kind of way. In fact, you want to know what's even worse? If these niggas went over there to that utopia, I give them niggas 6 months to a year before it don't be no utopia no more. I give it 6 months to a year before they screw it up. I give them 6 months, maybe a year, maybe. That utopia would be a smoldering crater. It would be a hole in the ground. Shout out to Pennsylvania. Said Americans are like spoiled teenagers, and America is the rich parent that is more patient than they should be with them. Facts. Time to Annie Up said black people such as him will gladly abdicate their ancestral connection to this land all so they can romanticize about Africa. Yeah, some shit that ain't even romantic. Like, what part of Africa is romantic? Somebody please tell me. I would love to know. I would love to know. Shout out to Gino Seegers, said because he been there and knows better.
What's the plan when he's not cheating, he's not hurting you, but emotionally not giving you what you need? You don't go out, you don't go on dates. He doesn't do anything for your emotional stimulation. What is it then?
You grow the fuck up. You grow up. That's what it is. You grow up. Like, bruh, they don't know how to do nothing in this day and age but lose. They don't know how to do nothing but lose, fam.
You don't love that man. You've just been with him for so long that you don't know how not to love him. It's not that you're...
See? They don't know how to do shit except lose, y'all. One of the dumbest groups I've ever witnessed in my life, fam.
Number 3.
So this might trigger some of y'all.
Well, you know what chops my heart? When you meet a man and he say, "You so pretty, why you single?" Motherfuckers like you.
Why don't y'all, like women like this, why don't y'all do us all a favor? Why don't you just stay in the house? Why don't you go find a nunnery and become a nun? And just go find somewhere to be miserable away from the rest of the world. Cause all you seem to do is come online to spread your misery. Like you're one of the most miserable groups of people I've ever seen in my life. And you're not satisfied or content with being miserable. You have to spread that shit to everybody else.
I hope it's not a black person driving this car.
This nigga said I don't take women out to eat because I don't know if she deserved that. Oh my God, boy. I just had this nigga take me to Chili's. I got a triple dipper and a Diet Coke. You know what? I didn't deserve it. City girls up. Do you see how these bum ass niggas try to protect their empty ass pockets?
Cause I can't tell you how much I don't care. I couldn't even tell you how much.
Shout out to Detroit 313 said, these Africans are not black Americans' allies. I don't know why they advocate for Africa while they never lived in Africa. Jerome said, yo, AM, did you hear about Akon raising millions to build a city in Africa? Never built it. That's worse than Umar not building that school. Bro, let me ask y'all a question. Let me ask y'all a question, right? Did y'all really believe that Akon was gonna build a city? Like, who really believed that? Who really believed that? Who really believed that Akon was gonna build a city? Because I damn sure didn't believe it. I didn't believe it. The moment the words parted out of his lips, pause, for the first time, I knew he wasn't going to do it. He wasn't fooling me. He might have fooled some of y'all, but he damn sure ain't fooled me. Yo, shout out to Picasso said, yo, dude was talking that hogwash. Shout out to Mogul Maze. Bro, fam wasn't fooling me. He wasn't fooling me, not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. Like sometimes, you know what? Y'all mind if I vent about something real quick? Do y'all mind if I vent about something real quick? Shout out to Detroit 313 said, last time I checked, Akon is an artist, not infrastructure, so it makes sense, LOL. And by the way, we need some sponsors on the Cash App side. Who gonna sponsor the show? Who gonna sponsor the show on the Cash App side of the game? We need some sponsors. So, as y'all saw yesterday, I was extremely frustrated. I was extremely, extremely frustrated. And the reason why is because my Go XLR conked out on me. Started tripping. And you know, I thought about taking it outside and busting it up. But then I thought about it. I thought about all of the years that I've used this mixer and all of the things that we've been through. And I say, you know what? I'm going to keep it for the sake of nostalgia. I'm not going to get rid of it, even though it don't work the way it's supposed to. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it the same way a business keeps the first dollar that they made. You feel me? But I was frustrated. I was extremely frustrated. I ordered the new mixer and the mixer came, and surprisingly I was able to hook everything up and everything worked with little effort. You know, I still got the echo issue. I wish I could figure out a way to fix that. I'm going to try to figure out a way to fix that. But in fact, the only way that I could fix it is I would have to figure out a way to run the speakers into the whatchamacallit. So we might have to get another device. But as I'm sitting here setting everything up, getting ready to do the show, getting ready to come over here and cook for y'all, I'm looking at this story with this woman in Russia. I'm looking at these TikToks. And I'm conflicted. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm conflicted. As much as y'all may not want to believe this, I don't like having to go in on black people. I don't. I do not. I wish that I got like a pleasure out of it. If I got a pleasure out of it, I could make so much money doing it. But I don't. I don't like going in on black folk. But black folk make it so hard. Black folk make it so hard to not go in. Some of the shit that black folk do. Some of the shit that y'all do, it can't be ignored. It can't be ignored. In fact, I would be irresponsible as a content creator if I didn't call it out. If I just sat back and pretended like I didn't see that shit. That would be a crock of shit. So, as always, you got goofy shit going on, and what I end up having to do is I end up having to put you Negroes under the microscope. I have to put Negroes under the microscope and basically figure out why Negroes do the shit that they do. And it's getting worse. I don't know if y'all notice or not, but it's getting worse. It's getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Day by day, the shit is getting worse. And, you know, we always say that the community is over. We always say that. But it's one thing to say it, and it's a whole other thing to actually see it. To be sitting back and be like, damn, you know what? We be saying that the community's done. We be saying the community is cooked. But shit, the community is really, really cooked. It's really cooked. It's really cooked. Like there's nothing that can be done. There's nothing that can be done. And you want to know what the sad part is? It's not because black people lack the capacity to learn. Because black people can learn. Black people learn what they want to learn, right? The reason why it's cooked is because black people know what they're doing is wrong and they don't give a shit. That's the reason why it's cooked. That's the reason why it's done. That's the reason why there's nothing that can be done about it. Because all of the shit you see black people doing that we know black people shouldn't be doing, they know they shouldn't be doing it. They just don't care. They don't give a damn. They don't give a damn, bruh. When you see all of them black folk that was over there at Carnival Cruise acting a damn fool, They know they wasn't supposed to be doing that shit. And this is what makes it even worse. The disingenuousness of black people. Black people will be on a cruise, breaking all of the rules, doing all of the shit they ain't supposed to be doing. And then when they inevitably get banned from the cruise, which they knew was going to happen, they just didn't know when. Trust and believe, black people are not stupid. They knew that eventually that shit was going to run out. They knew eventually Carnival was going to change its rules. They knew eventually some of them Negroes was going to get banned. But once they got banned, even though they knew what they was doing was wrong, even though they knew they was going to change the rules, even though they knew they was going to get banned, they still jumped out there and said, it's because of racism. And in the back of their mind, they know damn well it ain't racism. Because I'm going to tell you the truth. The one thing that I've witnessed about black folk in the modern era, black folk have their own version of white supremacy now. Black people now have their own brand of white supremacy. I guess you could call it black supremacy. It's sort of the opposite or the counterintuitive version of what white people have. I'll give you a prime example, right? How many of y'all remember the movie Rosewood with Don Cheadle, Esther Roll, Ving Rhames, Elise Neal? You feel me? Y'all remember John Voight? You feel me? Y'all remember that movie, right? Now, in that movie, of course, you had a lot of prejudice activities, to say the very least, right? So the woman lied. She was cheating on her husband. And she lied and said that a black man did something to her, right? And so these white folk, they got a mob together and they was going around just terrorizing because of what allegedly happened to this white chick, which we know didn't happen, right? At one point, they're looking for one dude, and Esther Roll was standing up in front of them, and she was trying to calm them down because Esther Roll was one of the oldest black folk, and she used to watch all of them when they was kids, right? So she thought that rapport or the fact that she helped rear those children, rear those men when they were children, that was going to stop them from doing what they do, right? She said the quiet part out loud. She said, now I done raised most of y'all, and y'all know as well as I do that the man that messed with that woman was just as white as the rest of y'all. And the moment she said that, they shot her. Now, here's the reason why they shot her. They shot her because she told the truth that they themselves knew. Because when it gets towards the end of the movie, all of them admitted it. They said, you know that. They told the husband. They said it wasn't no black man that did that. Your wife been messing with everybody. They knew it. So from the very beginning, when she said it, the husband latched on to the lie because it gave him the ability to pretend like his wife wasn't a tramp. The rest of the white folk latched on to the lie because it gave them an excuse to run around and terrorize Negroes. But they all knew that it was a lie. But they didn't give a shit because they used that lie to do what the hell they wanted to do. Well, guess what? That's what black folk do today. That's what black folk do today. They just do it in a different way. The same way that them white folk knew that didn't no brother mess with that white woman, but it gave them the excuse to run amok. Black folks from the Carnival Cruise know that Carnival Cruise wasn't being racist, but it gives them the excuse to run amok. And the same way Esther Rose stood up there and pointed out to them white men that they was full of it and they knew the truth, and they get mad, they got mad at her, is the same way these Negroes look at us when we call them out on their bullshit. The same way that white folk during the Jim Crow era used their privilege to get away with doing shit that they knew was wrong, but justified for whatever reason. Today, black folk don't use privilege, they use victimhood to do a bunch of shit they know they ain't supposed to be doing to justify their foolishness. It's the same thing, just in a different form. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. White people back in the day, they knew being white would give them the excuse to do certain things, because when it came time for them to be held accountable, other white folk was going to defend them and uphold whatever foolishness they did. Today, black folk know that because they're black, they can play the race card or the victim card to do whatever they want. And when it comes time for them to be held accountable, they know that the people that's in a position of power are going to defend them in their bullshit the same way back in the day white folks in power defended white folk in their bullshit. The same way a white guy back in the day would use his whiteness to avoid getting convicted because of privilege or nepotism. Today, black folk use their blackness to get away from being convicted through victimhood and racial injustice. It's the same shit, just in a different way. It's the same shit. It's the same shit. Black folk today be knowing certain shit ain't racist, but playing the race card is available. So since it's available, why not use it? Same way back in the day, white folks was doing stuff they knew they shouldn't be doing. But the white privilege card was there. Why not commit a crime and blame it on a Negro? Who's going to challenge that? If I commit a crime and blame it on a Negro during the Jim Crow era, one, I can use my white privilege to avoid getting in trouble. But then at the same time, I know for a fact that a court can't wait to convict a Negro even if he didn't do the shit. Right? Today, why not accuse a white person of racism? To avoid, why not do something and then accuse the white folk that caught me doing it of racism? Because as a black person, I know that I can always play the race card. And everybody black is going to believe that I'm telling the truth because I'm black. And the world can't wait to accuse somebody white of being racist. So the same way back in the day, a white person could commit a crime and then point at a Negro, and the court couldn't wait to convict that person. Today, a black person can commit a crime and point to white people and say, I didn't commit a crime. They just want to convict me because look at how they done us in the past. Because the black person knows that the court of public opinion can't wait to convict white people of being racist. It's the same shit. It's the same playbook with just a little bit of nuance, just a little subtle nuance. See, black folk don't have the system behind them the way white people had the system behind them. You feel me? Back in the day, white folks knew the system was behind them because it was other white folks running the system. Today, black folk can't use the system like black folk is running the system because black folk ain't running the system. So what black folk do is they use the court of public opinion to sway the system in their favor. So whereas the white guy back in the day would wink at the white judge and say, oh, I know he's going to acquit me because he's white like me. That's white privilege. But the black folk today, when they look at the judge, they don't wink at the judge, but the judge is more reluctant to convict that black person because the weight of public opinion is on him. So he may give him a lesser sentence, or he may not even convict him at all because he's worried about getting elected. It's kind of like that shit down there with Fannie Willis. That judge, he want to get reelected. So white folk back in the day use white privilege. Black folk today use victimhood privilege. Now, is victimhood privilege as strong as white privilege was back in the day? No. No. It was much easier for somebody white back in the day to commit a crime and then get off on the crime simply because they was white. But see, this is where black folk want to be today. Black folk want to be able to commit a crime, go to court, and get off just because they black. And that's the reason why they scream racism every time they get caught up in some shit. Because black folk today want their own version of white privilege. This is why they're always screaming about victimhood. This is why they're always screaming about racism. This is why they're always screaming about injustice, because they want the tables to turn in a way where today black folks can experience what white folks experienced back in the day. Am I lying? Am I lying? Does that make sense to anybody? Shout out to R. Jackson, said, I believe it starts with parenting. See, shout out to Big Rig in the building. He said, never missed a show in the cut. Appreciate you, bro.
$50 boss up. Stack up and match up.
Shout out to Willie. He said, support the show. So yeah, black folk don't want justice. They don't want justice. Black folk want privilege. Make no mistake about it. Black folk want privilege. And the justification for it is this. White folk had privilege. It's our turn. Not realizing that if we do that, we're just going to keep going in circles. Because if black folk get the same level of privilege that white folk had, you're going to abuse it the same way white folk did. A lot of people are going to be terrorized and brutalized and all that. And then that's going to create a new version of what they did in the modern era. And then it's going to be eventually their turn to cry victim, their turn to demand privilege, and it just keeps going. It just keeps going. Instead of folks wanting righteousness, justice. You feel me? Like I don't want any privilege. I just want to be treated the way everybody else is treated. Normal. You feel what I'm saying? I want a level playing field. I don't need an advantage. I just need a level playing field. I just need a level playing field. If I could have a level playing field, I can do the rest. I don't know why people come in. Why do people think that they're going to be able to get away with just coming in the chat room and saying stupid shit? Do they not realize by now? Do they not know at this point that the Angryman show is the one show you can't troll? You can't come and say dumb shit without there being a penalty? Don't they know this? Don't they know this? Don't they realize? Like, you're not going to just come up in here and just say some dumb shit. And then you're just going to rock out and just keep saying what you're saying. Like, no, that's not going to happen. Like it, the level of desperation for attention is out of this world. So it's like I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna say something, and you be sitting back looking at the messages, and they just keep saying the shit over and over again. Like, are you that desperate for attention? All right, so this is what we gonna do. I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. Do y'all want to keep the show going? Do y'all want to keep the show going? Because if not, we gonna wrap it up. Centene Bull Militia said, if I was a clout chaser, I'd have 5 billion subs by now, and I'd be a rich YouTuber who is well known. That's not true. That's not true. Just because you're a clout chaser that's not going to automatically make you talented. Maybe you should tell someone like, I don't know, they're a clout chaser. Get that out of here with the clout chaser. Somebody kick this clown out of my chat room, please. Somebody kick his drunk ass out of my chat room. Like, go get a life. Shout out to Chill Let Go. Said, I ain't got it like that, but I just bought a shirt and paying for the plate at Cook Sesh. Appreciate you. Like, take your drunk ass out of here talking stupid in the damn chat. I can't stand, bro. One thing I can't stand in this world is stupid people. Stupid people annoy me. And I know that seems like obvious, but no. The level of stupidity, the level of annoyance shout out to Bryson, appreciate you. The level of annoyance is just Okay, so this is what we're going to do because we're not really getting support like that. What we're going to do is we're going to shut it down. We might come back for a late night show. I'm not sure. But we definitely not going to keep... we definitely not going to keep it going if we ain't going to get no support. That's for sure. Let's see. Life's practitioner said, wow. Wow what? Wow what, Life's practitioner? Wow what? Wow what? I asked, how does one protect their energy to someone in the chat, and their answer was surprising. Shout out to Time to Annie Up. He said, personally observed the black version of whiter hate even within the conscious community back in the 90s. Even then, it was asking to World Star. AM is right. It was akin to World Star. AM is right. Appreciate you, bro. But yeah, we're going to get up out of here. We might do a late night show, so be on the lookout for me just in case. But to everybody that tuned in, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Shout out to everybody that supported the show. I definitely appreciate y'all. As always, y'all know what time it is. I'ma holler at y'all later. Deuces.
Spartans! What is your profession?